The thing I really enjoyed about the weekend so far is the discussion element of it. The ideas that Mike shares are tremendous ideas, and you could sit and listen to him talk about it for a long period of time. But I think the power in what Mike shares is the fact that we get to discuss it and really flesh out what exactly it means. You know, ought, is, can, will, what that exactly means, what it looks like in our life, in our faith, and in our business.
Being in a living room, just like it would be at my home or even at my office, it just engages us in a conversation. I was kind of hoping it wasn't going to be 6 back-to-back teachings and just the discourse. I love how we're invited to go over to the table to pick up a 21st century icon and say, okay, connect this to 2 doors down.
Ought to be, is, can, and will be. Now we stitch this in the language of every group we work with. The Arts Center in Shanghai, Dynasplint, Gendaco in Kansas City, it doesn't matter. Annapolis Area Christian School, ought, is, can, will. It is a pattern that's universal. We don't talk about integrating faith into work. We think that's it's a non-starter. We help people discover the patterns that are already there, and for those who are inquisitive enough, we explain where they come from. It's called an explanatory faith.
Hey, Mark. Hey.
No. Dude.
Graduated Vietnam, yeah.
St. Michael?
I have, yeah.
What a camera does.
I wish this was a tennis injury, but it's not. I'm a klutz. I fell. I did too.
I went over in the end.
Gendaco, that company describes itself as a sailing company. By that, sailors navigate by fixed points. So when they hired their new president, halfway through the interview, Chuck said, "Why are you talking to me, Dave? You're a Christian company. I'm not a Christian." Dave said, "Hold the phone." He said, "We're not a Christian company." He said, "Chuck, we think there's 4 types of people who work here. There's drifters, whatever, surfers, hot company, we want to be a part of it. Sanctuary seekers, we want a place that's safe." He goes, "We're not interested in those 3 types of people." Finally, there's a 4th type of person, sailors who navigate by fixed points, figure out how life ought to be. And then Dave turned to Chuck and said, "Which one do you want to be?" "I want to be a sailor." Dave said, "We're a sailing company."
This has been a fabulous weekend for my wife and myself. We didn't know what to expect when we were coming, and we were invited by Bob Knight, and it's just been such an amazing weekend of restoration for us, for our souls. And I'm in the middle of starting a business with my partner, my brother-in-law, and we are just at a stage right now where we have to just come up with some ideas of how we want to incorporate a certain culture in a business that we're purchasing. And we couldn't ask for a better format for learning those techniques and skills than this weekend.
Well, how do I use it with work? You know, you can't solve a problem within the framework it was created. So I've taken this and used it at national sales conferences. I've given a talk about how to reframe metaphors and reframe facts for sales, for online media. So I think this can be, I can use it for that, it can be used for anything.
Well, the setting is absolutely phenomenal. It's so gorgeous over here on the Eastern Shore. People who have not been to this part of Maryland have really missed a wonderful experience with God's gorgeous nature. The facility is beautiful, the food is incredible, and the thought-provoking conversation has, even if we didn't have all the other amenities in food and atmosphere, the conversation has been very challenging and enlightening.
during the rest of the day, of the week, and in my day-to-day business, it was very difficult for me to connect, to use your language, Sunday to Monday. And so I was intrigued with this thought of, I wonder if somebody has figured out a way to really do that. And I think that's really what I'm taking away from this weekend. So I'm excited about what I've learned. I'm excited about what I have yet to learn, and actually applying it in a practical way in the business environment.
A lot of people have high-octane engines, and they rev, and they have a lot of horsepower, and there are lots of people who have really great Goodyear tires. Neither make a whit of difference without a clutch. Mike is the clutch. Wow. This ministry is the clutch. It translates ideas into action that actually moves the car down the road in an effective way.
I hope as you've heard these stories of people who have experienced this weekend here at Osprey Point and have heard some of the themes we've been talking about, that what we're essentially talking about is not a new faith, we're talking about a new frame. We're talking about a new way to connect Sunday to Monday so that we envision artists and educators and business people who actually have a coherent faith. And this weekend, if you were to join us next year, is a weekend to consider further how you can connect Sunday to Monday. And I hope because, again, these stories you've heard and the setting you've seen, you'll join us in this ongoing conversation of reframing Christianity in a post-Christian world.
Most of the women were glad that I showed up. I think I've helped them imagine what
a man ought to be.
A stud ought to be.